You asked for it, and it's finally here. I do have a special guest coming today to help me with this tag video. A friend of mine, known only as the Library Ninja, has gladly agreed to help me, if she will ever get here on time, but she's also very quiet and sneaky.
Hey there.
This is the Library Ninja, and today we're going to give you, do you want to say it together? The Disney Songs book tag. The first one on the list is A Whole New World. A whole new world, that's where we'll be.
I wish I could...
Can you name that movie?
Blanking on the words. Aladdin.
Aladdin.
That is from
See?
Aladdin.
I know where all of these songs came from because I'm a huge Disney nerd, so I'm gonna quiz her on all of the movies and see if she knows where they came from.
Yay.
I just decided that right now. It's gonna be so much fun. So with this one, we're supposed to pick a book that made you see the world differently. Would you like to go first?
I will gladly go first. This song, I picked Nation by Terry Pratchett, which is one of my favorite books ever written. Probably my favorite book ever written, actually.
And why is that?
Because it's brilliant. It's by the master, Terry Pratchett. If you haven't read Terry Pratchett, you should be reading him. He's amazing. But this particular book is special. It is kind of like an alternative universe past. It takes place on a Polynesian island. It's about a little boy. I guess he's not a little boy anymore, he's a man. He's going out to become a man in his big ceremony, and then while he's out alone in his canoe, a tidal wave like wipes out his nation.
Oh.
And it's incredible. It's amazing. I know that sounds awful. It's wonderful.
So for me, I picked How to Be Like Walt by Pat Williams. I love this book. I love Walt Disney, and this seems very appropriate for a Disney Songs book tag. It's all about how Walt was able to do the things that he did, to do the impossible things that he did, and how you can be a little more like him, and so that's why I love it.
Okay, so no, you're quizzing me.
Oh, right, okay. That's totally the wrong beat, but I'm doing it anyway. Cruella De Vil, Cruella De Vil, if she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will.
I know this one. It's 101 Dalmatians.
Bing, 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 bing. That's 2 out of 11 so far. So for Cruella De Vil, it is pick your favorite villain.
So what have you picked?
I had a really hard time picking this, and it is a complete spoiler. So I have to ask, have you read the Reckoner series by Brandon Sanderson?
I have not.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make her leave the room for a minute, and then I'm gonna tell you, and when it's safe to uncover your ears, if you haven't read this book, I will give you the thumbs up sign, and then you can unmute that video and we can move on. Okay, so like I said, this is from the Reckoner series by Brandon Sanderson. So if you haven't read Steelheart or Firefight yet, especially Firefight, plug your ears or hit the mute button and I will give you the thumbs up when it's over, okay? Okay? This is a total spoiler, but right now my favorite villain is Calamity from Firefight. Which is funny because we know next to nothing about him up until the point that they reveal it in this book. Nobody even knew that Calamity was a person. And I am so intrigued by this guy because he's giving people power just to mess with their ideas of right and wrong. He's tempting them with ultimate power that ultimately corrupts. And I want to know why. I want to know if he's doing it intentionally. And I want to know if he's doing it to try and find someone like Megan who can overcome the evil of it and actually use it for good.
I'm back.
And what did you pick?
I actually have a double answer on this one, and I hate myself for not picking, but...
No, we love double answers here.
Double answers. Okay, so have you read Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury? It is such a great book about an evil circus, and the evil ringmaster, Mr. Dark, is one of my favorite villains. Mr. Dark.
Mr. Dark, okay.
As if there's not, enough clues that he's the bad guy.
Right, his name is Mr. Dark, right.
Right. Then my other one, I picked The Crooked Man from the Book of Lost Things. If you ever loved, like, the scariest, creepiest, like, most mysterious, like, fairy tale villain ever, The Crooked Man, he's the one. At least out loud, I won't say I'm in love.
So for this category, we were supposed to pick a book that we didn't want to admit that we loved.
Which was kind of a problem because I don't want to admit that I love it. What did you pick?
So I picked The Guardians of Ga'Hoole by Catherine Lasky. When these books first started coming out, I was way too old for them. I think I was around 16 at the time, so that's way too old for these books, but I was obsessed with them for the first 6 books of the series, and then it just kind of But for a while I loved these books, and I didn't necessarily want anyone to know that I loved these books because they were like for 11-year-olds. So.
Yeah. I picked the Wild Magic series by Tamora Pierce, and there's nothing like bad about them. I'm not like ashamed of them, but they're about this girl and she talks to animals, and I was like, that is like the most cliche, like when you're like 6 years old you like to pretend that you can communicate with your kitty or whatever.
Of
and
course.
I was just like, oh geez, like the worst wish fulfillment for a 5-year-old ever. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit how much I like that one.
No one schemes like Gaston. No one's... I know, there's so many different ones. Okay. Gaston!
That had better be Beauty and the Beast.
It had better be, because I don't know what it would be if it wasn't Beauty and the Beast.
I don't either. Okay, so this one is a character that you cannot stand. Somebody that you just hate. And this one was hard for me too, because I don't usually focus on characters that I don't like. I focus on the ones that I do like.
But did you find an answer for it?
I did find an answer for it. And I think this is another one that you probably haven't read. Did you read The Summers at Castle Auburn?
I did not.
No. Okay, I feel like lots of my books are older than yours. I was reading a lot in the pre-Harry Potter years.
Yes, and that's before I really got into reading, so that could be.
So I picked Prince Brian from The Summers at Castle Auburn by Sharon Chin. He's awful, and I hate him. And that's all I'm gonna say. Like, he's awful and I hate him.
I don't want to see any Prince Brian love comments in this video, you understand?
No.
Alright.
The Library Ninja will do something about that.
She will. I had no trouble whatsoever figuring out the character that I despise the most. Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games trilogy.
No, but she's an empowering female character.
No, because she's boring and she's blah and she doesn't actually become a hero of anything and she's blackmailed into everything and she doesn't do anything for the good of people. Except for her sister. Okay, she did rescue her sister, but I had so many problems with her.
She does nice things for her boyfriend. Okay. I hear you.
Yes.
I do hear you.
Yeah.
I feel like she has done a lot for readers, and I feel like she's done a lot, like men kind of getting into the YA a little bit more than they were before. They had another option besides Bella Swan. Like, but I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I do.
Yes. I think the movies, I've only seen the first one, but I think the movies have done a better job of making her a sympathetic and an empathetic character that people can relate to. I feel like in the books, she wasn't either of those things. I had such a hard time with her, and where it was told in the first person, she had no personality.
That is a problem.
I can't believe I even read the entire trilogy, because anytime anybody mentions Hunger Games, I'm just like, so that's like a series that I
That is
despise.
interesting. Why did you finish the whole thing then if you didn't?
Because it was so popular and everybody was talking about it so much that, and from the stuff that I'd seen online, I felt that it was going to be a really good story. So I kept reading them, hoping...
kept waiting for
something good to happen.
Okay,
and
that's
I admit that the storyline was good. I mean, when I got a book, I read through it really fast because I wanted to find out what happened. But none of the characters developed to any extent. There weren't good character arcs. There weren't good arcs at all. I was waiting for so many things. I was waiting for something to happen with Hamish. I was waiting for something to happen with Katniss. I was waiting for so many things that just never happened, and so it was a big letdown for me.
I did feel like that series had more potential than it lived up to.
Yeah. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing, walking around on those, what's that word again? Feet. We didn't actually get to the chorus part, but that's part of your world. Name that movie.
The Little Mermaid. Yay!
Oh, but the feet part kind of
The
gave it away.
feet did throw it. I was like, who doesn't know what those are? Mermaids, yeah.
See, I grew up with this movie. It played non-stop in my house for like the first 6 years of my life.
Really?
My oldest brother sings these songs. He gets them stuck in his head, and these are the songs that I sing with my oldest brother.
Aww,
so
your brother sings part of your... Oh,
yes,
that's
part of your
adorable.
world. That's one of my best memories with him, is we're just driving around in his car, and we're singing part of your world at the top of our lungs, so that's fun.
Aww. Boys are so funny.
They are, they're funny. This is pick a book in a universe that you would like to live in, and this one was really hard for me. I had 5 picks that I was thinking of using, and I narrowed it down to like 2. So I was gonna go with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and then I remembered, there's Star Wars books. So I've always wanted to be like a Jedi. So Star Wars or is definitely the one that I'm going with because I've always wanted to live in this in the Star Wars universe. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, that movie's gonna be awesome.
It is. I can't wait.
Super excited.
We're totally going. All right.
I had a hard time with that one too, and I had the reverse problem again. I kept thinking, like, I wouldn't want to live in that world. I'd be dead in a day.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't want to live in that world. Like, that would be super hard. Like, oh my gosh. So I also narrowed it down to 2. I thought about The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and then I realized that one is actually, like, sneaky real life.
And she remembered that one I had actually read, so she's like guilting me into all of these books that I've never heard of before.
Because I can't pick a book that Amanda's read, because then I'd lose my book cred. No, I realized, like, oh, like, he goes to the university and has classes and friends and, like, problems and things, and that's real life.
Yeah.
So I changed my answer. I decided, like, what I settled on is the Enchanted Forest series by Patricia C. Reedy.
See, I've actually read those. I love those.
I fail then, because you read it. No,
they're classic.
They're fabulous.
They are.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, I wanted to be Morwen the witch.
Nice. Dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
I think that is Cinderella.
You got it, Cinderella! Which I totally did my Snow White voice. I don't know why I did that.
You have a Snow White voice. That's adorable.
Yeah. You should hear me at the Wishing Well in Disneyland because it constantly sings the someday my prince will come. My aunt and I wander around imitating that the whole day after we see that.
We should probably go to Disneyland.
We should totally
I
go
have
to
never tried that. I know. Who doesn't go to Disneyland? Me. I don't go to Disneyland.
We'll totally go. Would you like to tell them what the category is about?
So this is, what book would you want to read? What, if you could have somebody, like, hand delivered to you the book of all books that would just be perfect for you, what would it be?
Okay, my answer is very in-depth, so let's see if we can get this right. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Myth, legend, and reality collide. Unnatural history, or unexpected historical figures, wrought with genuine emotional impact and complex character development.
You don't ask for much, do you?
Not at all.
No.
Just everything in the world.
I'm a little bit of a simpler kind of girl. I want me an anti-hero, and I want him to be kind of a jerk. I want a book about somebody who's driven, like, exclusively by ambition. Like, he wants to be the best, he wants to acquire power. Like, there's no noble, like, save the world, get the girl. Like, no, I want a Slytherin, okay? I want a book about a Slytherin who goes out there and does bad things and gets what he wants. I'm awful.
No, I think that's just you wanting to see something opposite of yourself.
Aw.
People are kind of driven towards that, which I don't know what that says about me, but...
You're simple.
I'm simple, but I want complex.
Aww.
So, I just patted your neck. I'm sorry, that was weird. So, if you guys happen to know of any books that fit either of those criteria, list them in the comments and we'll read them.
Because we want to hear about it.
We do.
And I've heard of The Prince of Thorns, by the way. Don't recommend that one. It was awful. I already know.
She's like our resident book expert here.
I'm a library ninja.
She's a library ninja! Whereas I'm just a lowly library clerk. So, I need to work on my ninja status.
Don't worry. Years and experience will get you there. Yeah.
So the next category is the one we were just talking about. Someday my prince will come.
So, Snow White.
Of course.
But I only know that because you just told me.
I ruined it!
So, this category is... Let's see, isn't it a character you would marry if you could?
It is, because we're talking about our Prince Charming.
Nice.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, okay.
I'm completely embarrassed by this one.
I feel like this one's more embarrassing than the one we didn't want to admit.
Right,
yes. And I don't know if it's because I feel kind of like a fangirl, or if I'm, like, not supposed to get all, like, googly-eyed over a fictional character.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know why exactly, but
you know, this is BookTube, so I think people watching this video are totally gonna relate to
that. Yeah, you totally understand.
You guys fangirl over characters. You go on characters.
So I picked Eugenides. He's from the Queen's Thief series by Megan Whalen Turner.
Okay.
And he is one of those characters who, like, he's so clever and he's so, like, on the ball that any problems that come his way, like, not only can he, like, fix everything, but he's got style. You know, and I love that style.
Style.
And he has a destiny. Like, I like a man with a destiny who's going somewhere and getting stuff done. Like, that.
That is a good trait to have.
That is the man. Yeah, how about you?
Oh my gosh, I think I'm starting to blush. This
You
is
are starting to blush.
Oh my gosh.
Adorable.
Stop! Okay, so I, of course, was being very dramatic when I wrote this down. Forget Mr. Darcy. Goodbye, Rochester. I want to chase Turnleaf.
That shouldn't surprise me. What kind of does?
Yes, I know. So the reason is, he's like the sweetest guy, but he's also funny, and sometimes he can be a jerk. But I love him.
Aww. And he's another man with a destiny.
He is.
He's going somewhere.
He is totally going
He's
somewhere. I would want him older. Just saying.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like, little disclaimer there.
Totally
14-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Not.
That is my
quite.
big embarrassment with this one, because it is actually a middle grade series, and if you haven't watched any of my videos before, this is from the Ever After series by Shelby Bach, and I talk about those way more than I talk about any other books.
I think kind of like lumping myself in, Eugenides is pretty young in the first book.
Yeah.
I think by the last one he's like 18, which, you know, is good, but still a lot younger than me.
Right.
But there you go.
There you go. Okay, let's get that blush out of my cheeks, right? Ooh, okay. I love this song. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog is lifted.
This one's the Rapunzel one. Tangled.
Tangled.
Which
I
I have seen recently, and so I know.
Oh, I love that movie so much. So this category is to pick a book that changed your life.
Okay, what did you pick?
I picked Mossflower by Brian Jakes. This is part of the Redwall series, and I adored these as a child. And you know what? Who am I kidding? I still adore these books. They're awesome. I have a whole shelf of them right here. The reason that I love this book is it was one of the first Redwalls that I actually read. I listened to the ones previously, and it was the longest book that I had ever read to that point. This is about 430 pages. I hadn't read anything this long yet. And I was going through reading, and I was looking at all of these words that are on the page. There's all of these words, and this whole book,
Funny how books
all
have
of the
words in
pages
them.
are filled with words. And you know what? The words are in a certain order. And if they weren't in that certain order that the author painstakingly put together and chose and just pulled words out of the air and made a story out of them, that's magic. That is magic right there. And I had never ever thought of that before. I read this book, and I said, you know what? I want to work that magic.
Oh, you want to be a wizard.
I want to be a wizard. So this is the book
Nice.
that inspired me to become a writer.
Very nice.
Or a writing wizard. Or a word bender. Whatever you want to call it.
A word bender, I like that.
That's my name.
Very,
Word bender.
Very, Avatar, that's very nice.
It is.
Not a book, but awesome.
Not a book, but totally awesome.
So, I picked The Raging Quiet. It's by Cheryl Jordan. It's a little bit older, again. Set in a medieval village, and it's about a young woman who befriends he's like maybe the village idiot, maybe possessed of a demon, like no one really seems to know what's going on with him. And then as she gets to know him, she realizes that he's actually deaf. And it's about that kind of like misunderstanding between like people, normal people, and then people who have disabilities or problems that people just don't really understand. And I remember it being kind of a revelation for me as a kid. Like I found it really profound. It's
That's
like
a
an
good
interesting
one.
I recommend that one pretty highly as well.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. And I don't remember the lyrics because my sister made up a really creepy Joker version for that. So
I'm not gonna sing the bad one. That is from Pinocchio.
Yes, it is!
Although probably also lots of other things, because that song gets around.
Yes, it does. But originally, from Pinocchio. Would you like to tell them what this category is?
This category is the book that you would reread again for the first time. Like, just see it brand new fresh.
Ooh, that would be, that's a tough one. I had
That
a
is a
really
tough
hard
one.
time with this.
So did I. So I picked The Hollow Kingdom by Claire Dunkel.
Ooh.
Have you read this one yet?
I haven't, but you've told me to read it many times.
It's another fairy tale. I love fairy tales. Has that come across? I read a lot of fairy tales, and that one, someone recommended it to me because I really like the movie The Labyrinth, which, if you haven't seen that, pause, go watch Labyrinth, come back. What is wrong with you?
Listen to her. Do it right now. David Bowie.
David Bowie.
With wild
like,
hair.
Foofy 80s mullet and like a leather vest. Like, yeah.
She digs the Goblin King.
I do
Just saying.
dig the Goblin King, which is why I love this book so much. It is yet another Goblin King story. And I remember the first time when I read it, it was like mysterious and like creepy and like dark, and you never really know like what kind of power he has and what he's going to do next. And now when I read it, like I still love it, but you can never go back to that like that mystery and that not knowing.
Just that magic of
yeah.
like, oh,
when like nothing is solidified yet and it's all just kind of like floating. Oh.
I picked a classic. We can all agree that this is a classic. And if you don't agree that it's a classic, there's something wrong with you. The Princess Bride by William Goldman.
Also a good choice.
The first time that I read this book, I think I was still a little too young for it. I did not fully appreciate it. So while I can go through and I can reread it again, and I like it a whole lot more, I love it now. But I really wish that I could go through and read it now, just with a better understanding of everything. And just because I would really be able to appreciate it, and appreciate the fact that it is not exactly like the movie. Because I love the movie.
I wanted to ask you, did you read the book first or watch the movie first?
I watched the movie first. I was a huge fan of the movie.
No, I feel like there's two camps when it comes to this book. There's the people who watched the movie and loved it and then read the book. And then there's the people who read the book and loved it and watched the movie.
Yep. One of my favorite songs. I had the song stuck in my head all morning. It's kind of what inspired the shirt that I'm wearing that you can't really see anymore. So.
And now I know the answer to this quiz too.
Crap! I did it again! And I just can't wait to be king.
In my defense, I did actually know this one.
Well, yeah, it's because it's Lion King. It's a classic. This is probably one of my favorite Disney movies.
This is the one that was playing on repeat when I was a kid.
The category for this song is to pick a book with some kind of monarchy in it. So what did you wind up picking?
I wound up picking The Blue Sword by Robin McKinley, which is, yet again, kind of an older book.
Right.
This one is a prize winner. It's super, super cool. Like, really awesome female character who just, like, tears it up. A little bit of romance in there.
Of course.
It's very exotic. Very cool.
Sounds like I have so many more books to add to my TBR now. Thank you very much.
If you want me to stop.
No, this is way too much fun to stop.
Okay, so what did you pick for royalty?
Oh, right, we're still on this category.
We're still on royalty.
For this category, I had to get one of my favorite books in here, the classics. This is what really turned me on to epic fantasy, high fantasy, whatever you want to call it. The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, plus I get to plug my favorite character from the series, which is Aragorn.
I feel like this one didn't even cross my mind because it's so, like, there.
Yeah.
It's like being surprised that there's a sun in the sky. It's like, well, obviously there is. Like, we depend on it. I feel like this is that book.
Right. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
That is Pocahontas.
It is. It's Pocahontas.
Yes.
You got 11 out of 11, except for the
win.
one that we cheated on. Would you like to introduce this category?
The Colors of the Wind. Okay, so this one was hard for me again. It's a book with a beautiful cover. You know, something that's just lovely when you look at it. And I don't usually think about covers when I read books because it was pounded into me as a child that you don't judge a book by. I picked Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay.
By Diana Wynne Jones. I feel like a lot of people have heard of it because of the movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like not a lot of people have read it, which is a crying shame. And I did watch the movie first, that one. The Japanese.
Right. Miyazaki.
Yeah. And it was super cool, and I thought, well, that was awesome. And so I read the book, and
That's true.
now I reread the book almost yearly. How about you? What'd you pick?
This is Always Neverland by Zoe Barton, and this cover is gorgeous. I'm just going to show it off here. So it's got so many colors. I mean, it's so pink. It's so pink, which is funny because I really am not, like, huge into pink. I'm not really a big pink person, but I mean, Peter Pan and Neverland, you really can't go wrong with that. And so this is, yeah, this is what I picked for the beautiful cover. I was going to pick the Ever After series, but since that's my answer for everything, I decided to shake it up a little. So that's the end!
I don't even know what to say.
Right?
There were so many books that I wanted to put on here. I had like double answers for everything. There were so many books that I wanted to put in here because I wanted to talk about that I just couldn't make fit the category.
Yeah, she just wanted to talk about a whole bunch of books.
I like them.
I think she likes this format too.
Yes, this has been fun.
So,
Hi there.
So I'll tell you what, maybe we will have you back one day, oh Library Ninja.
I'll see what I can do. I'll
Okay.
manage my schedule.
Alright.
The Library Ninja has many things going on.
The Library Ninja's busy doing library ninja-y things.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you want to see the Library Ninja again?
Vote up Yes, vote
Yes.
for the Library Ninja.
Vote for the Library Ninja. Do you want to give him a little ninja action there?
You see, library ninja skills are a little bit different. You do things like cha and shelve those books.
Shove that book.
Shove that book.
Shove that book.
And now I feel like an 80s workout video.
So this is the end of this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed the Disney Songs book tag. If you guys know of any other tag videos that you want us to do, let us know in the comments. And then since we're supposed to tag somebody, I'm just gonna tag anybody who wants to do it. You, go do it. I will see you guys next time. And if you guys like her, we can have the Library Ninja back. I'm really not sure how to close out this video. I usually just kind of like
no idea
duck out of sight. So I guess.
So should we Library Ninja it up?
We should totally
Okay,
Library
ready?
Ninja it up.